Okay, I've been waiting to tell this story. Well, to be honest, I've been waiting for, I'd say, a week? Yeah, about a week has passed since I got my card. Anyway, but this whole story is like 2 months, damn near 3 months long. So, so I can already imagine this video is gonna be pretty long. Maybe not too long, maybe just most likely longer than my previous storytime videos. But this is about the time, like the duration, pretty much. Trying to find my words here. Of me not being able to have access to my card for 2.5, almost 3 months now. And again, I just recently got my card, like my new card that I ordered. Okay, so this card I got I got an InstaPay card like a long time ago when I first applied at my current job at Pizza Hut. Actually, I have to go to work later on today. Damn. But anyway, it's a Skylight card, and I had it for like a good year or so, probably a little bit less than that. No, about, yeah, a year, a little bit over a year actually, with no troubles, nothing, not really anything to really complain about. Until now this is a whole load of shenanigans. Okay, so one time, because every now and then I will offer my card to my mom, and my mom would use it for either bills or just stuff that I would ask for if she would go shopping or grocery shopping. And usually I'd want to pay for my own stuff because I don't want her or my brother or anybody else to really have to spend their money for me as much as everybody used to back then, because now I have a job. I have no excuse anymore. So I went ahead and did that one time, and I think I was at school when she came back, because I gave it to her in the morning, and when I came back, I guess she lost it somehow, and because she was out and about, I believe, like during my time at school. And since she thought it was lost, she called the number for Skylight and pretty much reported it lost, a lost card. And it makes sense, the consequence that followed after that, but I didn't know it at the time. But realistically I should have. My card was blocked from then and there, because obviously if the card is lost, it's 50% chance it's probably stolen, and these random transactions happening. Why was there a random beep? I don't know if my mic picked that up, but somebody beeped outside. But it could be pretty much assumed stolen at that point, if it's not just, if it's not just lost. So she reported it stolen, and the card was blocked. 5 or 10 minutes later, she finds the card, right? And at that point, it was too late. It was too late. They couldn't activate the card. I couldn't have access. I couldn't see my balance. I couldn't do anything. And mind you, this happened, that part happened before before me and my most recent girlfriend broke up. So when that happened, I struggled quite a bit financially speaking. I legitimately had to go back to my old ways of childhood when it came to money, which was relying on little bits and pieces of money that my mom would offer me every now and then, like $5, $10, like once a month, or 20 if I'm lucky. Um, but the thing is, since I got my card now, I actually got quite a bit of money. Not as much as I thought I would have after literally working for 2.5 months. Yes, I work half-time, but I expected to have a lot more than what I heard when I checked, my balance. I struggled with going to my girlfriend's performances because my girlfriend, danced. I struggled with transportation because I either I'd ride a bike, I would walk, or I would take Uber or Lyft. I recommend Lyft over Uber personally, but I have both of them just in case. That's gonna be a struggle. Oh, actually, no. Everything should be still. No, I need to fix that on my accounts. God damn. Anyway. So yeah, that was a problem for a little bit. And then, I believe... Yeah, I actually think that it was like during the midst of us... Because if I haven't mentioned this already, I probably have, but I'll mention it again. We moved into a different place recently, a trailer home, but this is actually a pretty nice trailer home. It could be easily mistaken for a house just from the inside, right? It looks like a mobile home outside, but once you walk inside, oh, lovely house you got, But yeah. So during then, my brother and my mom needed help with the bills and rent. And I couldn't help. Like, usually they wouldn't need help, but given our situation, which I will go into further detail in later stories, but right now, I'll just mention that we weren't as stable as we would have preferred to be. For a lot of reasons. But yeah, and as much as I wish I could have helped, I couldn't for again, 2.5 months. And my brother and my mom would always egg me on and make sure I'm making calls, checking my email and notifications and shit like that, tracking numbers. Because I called them once, right? I called them once a long time ago, 2 months ago exactly. I think 15, 2 weeks after I lost access to my card because I was busy with a lot of things and I didn't have enough time to really, be able to order a new card. 2 weeks after, I made a call to make an order for a new card. And I did it. I thought I had them walk me through everything because this is new to me. Stuff like this is, new to me. I am just now entering the, the adult world. I'm still a senior, I'm only 18. I just got out of a breakup, or I was in a relation. I'm going through relationship shenanigans, and my social life is everywhere. I'm just now getting a lick of life. A lick. And it sucks. but yeah. So yeah, stuff like that was new to me, and I had to ask them to walk me through things. What do I gotta do? What information I gotta give? Do I have to, give my house number? Of course, I gotta give the address and the mailing address, zip code, and all that. But there's other stuff, even like personal questions that was unique to me, that I guess I made when I first made the account or whatever at my job, but I couldn't remember. But after like an hour, so it seemed, or two, of trying to make the order, it seemed to be finished. They told me that it'll be in about a week or so, right? And so I thought, okay, I'm getting my new card soon, and I'm gonna be back doing my, buying little small snacks here and there, like maybe like twice a week, but mainly trying to save my money, because I am trying to save as much money as I can, because I do look forward to moving out, like in either a year or two on my own, preferably into an apartment with 2 bedrooms, preferably 2 bedrooms, but if not, at least 1 bedroom and a big enough living room area, you know what I mean? But yeah, and it didn't come in. It didn't come in for first week. And I'm like, okay, it's probably delayed or late. Second week goes by. Still a little bit, not too worried. The third week goes by. And then, that's when things start to get a little bit concerning. And then a whole month passes. A month and a half passes. And my mom gets a little fed up. Understandably so. I was fed up too. But me being an inexperienced 18-year-old, I'm not, like, I know it's important, but I'm not fully recognizing the legitimate weight of the whole situation. Because our landlord, I won't say much. I don't think I'm allowed. That's maybe a bit too much information. But he's pretty strict. If I'm using that in a fair sense, he's strict and serious about, that's all I'm gonna say. But my mom was pretty much warning me, hey, don't get your card soon, we might be in some shit. And I'm like, I understand. Well, I rationally understand, but I didn't understand. I still kind of don't. I'm not, there in life yet. I don't know what it's like to, go through the, we possibly might be evicted, but I'm going to put on a little facade for my kids so that they don't worry or anything. Because that's pretty much what my mom was doing. My mom is tough like that. Maybe a little bit too tough for her own good every now and then. Those are, again, those stuff are like for later stories in the future. But she does that so me and my brother don't worry. But I can understand that she's getting really worried and pissed and sad and all this other stuff. So after like another couple weeks pass, that's when I finally make another call, because yet again, not only I was busy now, but we were all busy. Me, my brother, and my mom were busy with either work, like mostly work. It's always all work that we have to deal with. And the only times that we have available, like for free time, are very limited. Like very limited. Yes, I work I work half time, yes, but I also have school, and I'm also struggling in school. So I have quite a bit of makeup work that I'd have to make up from previous days. For those of you who don't understand that term, I would hope most of you do. But I can't be dealing with full time at work while stressing over the high school life of a senior who just got out of a relationship recently still, and one who is in a relationship that was almost causing the same amount of distraction, because it was also stressful. But that, again, there's a lot of things that I'm mentioning that I could make into their own stories, but again, I'm only going to mention them briefly in this story, because those are going to be stories for the future when I feel most comfortable talking about them. Anyway, now I call them a second time, right? The second time I call them, I make sure to do, and this time I do it by myself, because the first time it was with my mom. And for those of you who don't know, my mom is Puerto Rican, and she does have that angry Puerto Rican mom attitude, even when it comes to her sons in some way, shape, or form getting mistreated, because she viewed this as them keeping my money from me. Not on purpose, but it was almost like they weren't trying to let me have my money, you know? Does that make sense? You know what I mean. But yeah, the first time she was really pissed. She kind of did raise her voice like near the end of the call a little bit, and maybe that made things a little bit more complicated, because she just wanted them to, just give the card, like, let the order be made. And the other person was trying to say this or that or whatever, and I couldn't understand what they were saying because my mom was talking over them and they were talking over my mom. So that was a little bit stressful. So the second time I do it by myself, for most of it. I call them, I tell them the information that they need again. And then I make sure other stuff are done that I didn't think of previously. And then near the end, I go to my mom, because there are some things that I don't know still, or understand. So this time she does keep a calm demeanor. Demeanor, if I'm using that term correctly. And at that point, I think we did good. Like, we put in the address, like the zip code. To me, that was a win. A few weeks later, it didn't show up again. So this time, I make the call again by myself. 3 weeks later, almost 4 weeks actually. And I asked them again what happened and all that stuff, and apparently like we go over everything again because it's always like a what's that word? Like it's just something that you always have to do regardless if you're calling about the same issue or not. Put in the information, my last name, my card number, or whatever. And apparently I got the house number wrong in my last call. But the person didn't know that. The person that I was on the phone with didn't know that. So I assumed that they were new, or they were just being lazy a-holes. Or they just weren't taught. Either way. But yeah. That was the only thing that was missing. Now, I find this out later, by the way. When I first call them, I let them know, and then my mom, calls me over to the room so that she may be involved to help me out. And then, I'm on the phone, and then they ask me some questions, and then my mom starts to intervene a little bit and say, why does he need to do that? Why? And she starts to get a little bit, upset, understandably so, again, but I try to tell her, hey, okay, I would prefer to do this by myself, and if you're gonna do that. And I guess the way I delivered that, the way I said that to my mom, she felt disrespected, and it kind of hurt her feelings, because in her mind, she's, my mom is, and I didn't know this at the time, my mom is going through so much stress over the possibility of us getting evicted if we don't get my card soon. Other people harassing her, constantly texting her, or bothering her about us getting evicted. My mom goes through so much shit. But again, story for the future. But stories, I should say, actually. But yeah, she's going through so much stress, and only for me to decline her helping me. Like, it's not just for her, it's not just for us, it's also for me. She wants me to have access to my money. She thought I was just being disrespectful and mean. And I didn't see that. And I get the way I delivered it, it was the cherry on top for her. So she got mad at me, and then me being, defensive, because I get stubborn when, without warning, to my knowledge at least, without warning, you start to yell at me or judge me or anything of that matter. I just start getting defensive and stubborn, and I start talking back, and then it's the back and forth, and then they hang up for after 2 minutes, they hang up the phone, and then I tell my mom they hung up the phone, and then she gives me the attitude of, she didn't say anything because I didn't let her finish, but I felt like she was going to say something that had to do with, well, you should have let me help you or whatever. You shouldn't have gotten so distracted or fed up. And then before she could say anything like that, I quickly say, no, don't blame me. I'm not blaming you either, but this is not my fault. I'm going to call them again, and I would like to do it by myself. And it was a good 15-20 minutes of me and my mom going back and forth. And yeah, after that, she goes to her room, and because me and her, we're not on the best terms, but we calmed things down a little bit. And before I attempted to call them back, And it was 3:30 when, you know, the whole thing started. I call them and I ask for the tracking number, and they check the tracking number like as well. And apparently it was delivered like 40 50 minutes ago, they told me. So I go outside, I check, it's at the front door. It's just there because we don't have a mailbox of any sort. And I look at it, and I even check the image that, you know, the tracking number shows me when I type it in on Google. And there it is on our front porch, like while I'm looking at the picture. And I'm like, well, shit, this is it. So I go inside and I show my mom, and she's happy. Like she was happy. She was like, me and my mom were actually on the verge of tears type of happy. So after that, you know, we're still on the phone with them. We take care of everything. My PIN number, checking my balance, stuff like that. And yeah, that was like, I think a week and a half ago or around there. But yeah. Now at the end of that, at the end of that whole story I just said, that whole conflict like between me and my mom could have been avoided with one simple knock. They didn't even knock on the they didn't even knock, man. Man, all that stress, very unnecessary. It was already there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. The next one will be how my friend and almost I got into a fight with a racist kid. This is another middle school story time, by the way, that I'm referencing. And yeah, that one should be great. May or may not be a short one, but yeah. Hey, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to leave a like, and peace.